everyone, I'm Marsha. Welcome back to my channel, and today's video is another favorite of mine. So I'm going to show you how to make the best candied sweet potatoes or candied yams, however you want to say it, that you've ever tasted, in my opinion. Now these of course are perfect for the holidays, but they taste so good that you'll probably want to make them all year long. Trust me. But before we get started, as always, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below so you'll never miss any of my simple and easy recipes using real food and real ingredients. All right, so now without further ado, let's jump into the recipe. All right, so starting with our sweet potatoes, I have about 4 to 5 medium-sized sweet potatoes that I've already washed and peeled. And I did try to get ones that were kind of narrow in size, so not the big, chunky, large sweet potatoes. I feel like these are just easier to cut up. And so now I'm cutting them up into about 1/2 inch size pieces, and I do try to keep a lot of them, in the circle shape just for this particular recipe because I feel like it looks better. But you can cut yours up however you want. And so now I have a 13x9 baking dish that I've kind of lightly greased at the bottom with a little bit of butter and on the sides, not too much butter, just a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and layer all of my sweet potatoes in the baking dish. So you see me starting with the bottom layer, and then I'm going to go ahead and lay the rest of the sweet potatoes on top of that layer. So I'm just kind of staggering them on top of each other. No particular pattern. Just make sure they all fit nicely and that they're not crowded at all. Then you can go ahead and set your sweet potatoes to the side, and then we'll start on our sauce. So I have a small saucepan that I've heated up, and I'm just going to go ahead and add in my butter. So I'm going to go ahead and melt my butter in my saucepan. And I have this heated up on medium heat right now just so I can melt that butter. But just know you are going to turn that heat down once you start adding more ingredients. So now that my butter has melted, I'm going to go ahead and add in my sugar. So I'm adding in some brown sugar and some granulated sugar. So 2 different types of sugar. And then you'll want to just go ahead and start stirring that together. So you're stirring and mixing in that butter and your sugars until they start to slowly melt. So it may take a couple of minutes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, but eventually that sugar is going to start to break down. It's going to start to melt in nicely with the butter. So once your sugar has started to break down and melt in with the butter, this is the point where you want to go ahead and add your heavy cream. So I'm pouring in some heavy cream and I'm turning that heat down because I don't want anything to burn. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that cream in with the sugar, and don't skip out on the cream, you guys. That really adds richness and it kind of brings or enhances the flavor of everything else that you're going to add to the sauce. So I definitely would encourage you to add that cream. There are some non-dairy heavy cream options out there now. So if you're not a dairy person, you can definitely look for the non-dairy cream. Then you're just going to want to let the cream and the sugar simmer together for about 4 to 5 minutes. Make sure you don't walk away from it. Keep an eye on it. Stir it when you need to so it doesn't stick. All right, so after about 4 minutes, I'm going to take this saucepan off of the heat. So I'm actually just scooting it over to another part of my stove. And now I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients. So I have some cinnamon, some nutmeg, and some salt that I'm going to go ahead and stir into this sauce. Then I'm going to add in my vanilla. Again, please make sure that you've taken this off of the heat before you add in this vanilla. And I'm going to go ahead and stir that in. And now you can see this has come together nicely and it's kind of like a thick caramel sauce. Now you want to take your sauce and pour it over all of the sweet potatoes. So you're not going to stir it and it's going to look thick. But trust me, once it bakes in the oven, that sugar sauce is going to melt and cover all of the sweet potatoes nicely. Now I'm going to take some aluminum foil and I'm going to cover the sweet potatoes and I'm going to bake it in the oven for about 40 minutes at 350 degrees. Now this is just the first half of baking it in the oven. After about 40 minutes, go ahead and remove it from the oven, take the aluminum foil off, and now go ahead and stir it up. So as you can see, that sauce has melted, and so it's kind of, really loose at this point. So I'm just kind of gently stirring the sweet potatoes, just making sure all of them are getting covered in that sauce. Then I'm gonna put it back in the oven and bake it uncovered for another 30 to 35 minutes. After about another 30 to 35 minutes, this is what your sweet potatoes will look like. So they are fully done, they're tender, and I like to let them rest for about 5 minutes so that sauce can kind of thicken up. Here you see I've transferred it to a serving dish, and I took a little bit of that sauce and I drizzled it on top just so I didn't waste it because it tastes so good. And yeah, you have some really great candied sweet potatoes. I hope you give this recipe a try. Well, I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you decide to make it, please come back and leave me a comment down below letting me know how you liked it. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button down below because that really helps my channel out. And as always, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below because it's free. And because I love to post and share simple and easy recipes using real food and real ingredients. So I would love for you to join my community. And that's all I have. Until the next video, I will see you guys next time.